Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. And a very warm welcome to Saturday's edition of the DCU Daily. You can follow me on X Twitter at Movies TV Mad and on Instagram and on Threads at Movies TV Mad X. Recently, I ran a little survey on TikTok asking people if they know who the current Superman is. And the response, the high percentage of responses is that Henry Cavill is still the current Superman. No, they're not Snyder fans. These are young people. These are teenagers. These are kids. They're not, as I say, they're not Snyder fans. They're not saying Henry Cavill is my Superman. They think that Henry Cavill is still the official movie Superman. But it gets even worse for James Gunn and company because I asked them another question. Did you know that there's a new Superman movie coming in July with a brand new actor? The high percentage of people responded by saying, no, they didn't know this. So the TikTok generation believe that Henry Cavill is still Superman and they didn't even know a movie is coming. It's all very well for stans and DC fans to be excited for this movie, but it's not enough. And the kids still think Henry Cavill is Superman. But it gets even worse because Henry Cavill made a public appearance somewhere, I don't know where. I think he was with his girlfriend. And I think they're expecting a kid, are they, or something? Anyway, congratulations if that's the case. But one kid came out and said, but what about Superman? When you playing Superman again? It's not good for James Gunn and company. And lying to the fans that Henry Cavill was coming back was the biggest mistake they ever made. Because they think we're stupid. Yes, they think you are stupid. They think you're simple. Now, not only did they disrespect Henry while he was playing Superman WB Pictures, but then when Zaslav came in, he continued the disrespect because he and his people came up with a plan to lie that he was coming back to sell more tickets for Black Adam. And it looks like, The Rock was part of that lie as well. I've said this many times. I have no idea if Henry Cavill was in on the facade or if he genuinely believed he was coming back as Superman. But even if he knew, let me tell you, from an actor's perspective, actors are foot soldiers. They do as they're told. Henry Cavill is clearly a good dude. He's quit jobs when they've gone away from canon and from the official material. He did it with The Witcher. We know that Cavill is on the right side and he's defended fans for having opinions many, many times. They are not going to get away with lying that Cavill was coming back, because that's the thing here. Because before that happened, before the whole Black Adam debacle, and we know there was many rumors that he was going to be in Black Adam, that he was going to appear in a post-credit scene. I never believed it. I was desperate for it to happen. I am thankful that that post-credit scene exists. Cavill's representatives were the same representatives as The Rock's. That's not the case anymore. So clearly, he felt betrayed by them. Now, the official story is that Adby and DeLuca wanted Cavill back, and he was coming back. But then when James Gunn and Peter Safran became the co-CEOs of DC Studios, they decided they wanted a younger Superman. Gunn decided he wanted his own Superman. Now, from a creative point of view, I can understand that to a point. When a football manager, soccer manager takes over, he wants his own players, right? But is that the truth? Or was there any intention ever to bring Cavill back? I believe the whole thing was a lie. And that's the thing about it. And fans know that it was a lie. People know it was a lie. You can't do things like that, Mr. Zaslav. You can't shelve movies after they've made. You know, the whole Acme versus Looney Tunes or Coyote, whatever it is. You know, the guy who directed that movie is so angry, and he came out the other day publicly and he was using a few, let's say, abbreviations, lots of swear words. He's not happy. Ironically, James Gunn produced that movie that's been shelved by Zaslav and Warner Brothers Discovery for a tax write-off, like he did with the Batgirl movie. Whatever you think of Hamada, whatever you think of what that movie was going to be, absolutely wrong. And there's no question about it. So these are really immoral people. It's not like Hollywood has not ever been immoral before, but this is a new level of immorality. They said Cavill was coming back, then all of a sudden he wasn't, and they've recast him, and they just want people to accept David Corenswet as Superman. The James Gunn stands are very excited about David Corenswet. David isn't the issue. I feel bad for David Corenswet. I feel bad for Rachel Brosnahan. I feel bad for Nicholas Hoult, who recently was speaking about his role. He's saying that James Gunn has done it brilliantly. He wants to be playing Lex Luthor for many years to come. Something Jesse Eisenberg wanted as well. And as we're talking about Jesse Eisenberg, you know, when Gene Hackman and Kevin Spacey played Lex Luthor, they were in their 40s. So this is a younger Superman. Let me say that again. This is a younger Lex Luthor that we're going to get. And I don't think it's a good idea to have a younger Lex Luthor. And people say, well, it's a 10-year plan, blah, blah, blah. Now listen to me. I know why Zack wanted a younger Lex. I know why James Gunn wanted a younger Lex. Because of Smallville. Because of Rosenbaum's younger Lex Luthor. It really worked. But the reason we had a younger Lex Luthor in Smallville is because it was a pre-Superman story. So you're not going to have an older Lex Luthor in a pre-Superman story. I pinpointed Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays Kingpin in the Daredevil series, as a great Lex Luthor. He looks beautiful bald, we've seen him. He would have been perfect as an older Lex Luthor. And I'm not sure if a younger Lex Luthor is a good idea. We've seen from the teaser trailer that the company is called Luthor Corp, not LexCorp. So his father could still be alive in this movie. And it's like Gunn wants to retread old ground. He wants to tick all the boxes of comic book stuff and movies and TV shows that everybody likes to create, you know, a sure thing within the box office. You know, the cast keep on saying, oh, it's so faithful to the comics, this movie. You know, it's a kind of chime thing that they say, oh yeah, you know, it's so loyal to the comics. That's not that important. That doesn't mean you're going to get a good movie because it's faithful to the comics. You want the character to be faithful to what he's always been. Some people believe in Man of Steel that Henry Cavill's Superman wasn't comic book accurate. But there is a graphic novel called Man of Steel, you know, and it's a very popular one as well, and they were basing a lot of that from the Man of Steel movie. But he, you know, if you watch Man of Steel, he does smile in the movie. He is very hopeful. The word hope is used, but you need more than hope to make a great Superman movie. But if the young people of today, if the TikTok generation still see Cavill as Superman, if they don't even know there's a brand new Superman movie, and I warned about this, I said there needed to be a huge viral TikTok campaign for this brand new Superman movie, and they haven't done it. Even the other day, Gunn was still plugging Creature Commandos. You should be totally focused on Superman. Now, we're getting some doggy bowl thing, puppy bowl, whatever it is, because it's the Super Bowl, right? On Sunday, they're going to release some sneak peek. Now, Gunn was doing this whole promo talking about his dog Ozu again and how he wants to talk about dogs in sheltered housing. Look, that's lovely and great. And maybe he thinks this is a great marketing campaign. I don't. A dog will not sell your movie. It will be an interesting aspect. It will be cutesy. It'll be fun. It'll be funny. We'll enjoy watching Crypto, and that's cool. But that's not going to decide whether or not the movie you're making is any good. It's not a good marketing decision to try and use a dog to market a movie. Because ultimately, as brilliant as Crypto is and as excited that I am that Crypto is involved, I don't believe it's that big a deal like some people believe. But if the young people of today still believe Henry Cavill is Superman and they don't actually know a Superman movie is happening, it's a huge issue and it's a huge problem for James Gunn and company. The truth is, teenagers, kids, children love Henry Cavill as Superman. And a lot of young people that I talk to absolutely loved Man of Steel. Because, the nerd audience, the DC fans are important and vital, but without a young generation being interested in what you're doing, what's the point? The kids love Cavill. The kids want Cavill to remain as Superman. They're not going to get away with it. They're not. It doesn't matter if I go on about it forever. It doesn't matter what I say, what you say. The way they treated Cavill, first of all, was wrong. But the way they lied about him coming back was amateur hour. How did they think they were going to get away with it? They had Henry doing interviews about all the great plans and all the possibilities. They were out there blatantly talking about a Superman versus Black Adam movie, and it was a lie. They lied. It was a blatant lie. You can lie to a point to your audience, right? But that level of lie, you will not get away with. But this is how dumb and stupid and desperate they have become. And now they're trying to sell this brand new Superman in this brand new Superman movie. And I hope we forget that Henry Cavill was Superman, that he was a great Superman. He's the only one really in terms of films, and I think Tom Welling is very popular as Superman, but in terms of films, he's the one that really knocked it out the park. He's a physical specimen. He's a great actor. He's Shakespearean trained. He's as close to, the abilities of Christopher Reeve that we've had on film. I don't think Brandon Routh really, he's a great actor and I think his performance was great, but I think, people love Henry Cavill as Superman. And there's loads of arguments from the Gunn stands. Oh, he was this, he was dark, he was this, he was the other. And our Superman is going to be hopeful. If hopeful is all you've got, if hopeful is all you've got against Henry Cavill, then you've got nothing. Oh, he's too old to be in a 10-year journey. Is he? He's about 41 or whatever, right? If the 10-year journey is successful, he'd be 50 or something. Cavill looks great. Cavill's still going to look great at 50. Cavill's always going to be in shape. I'm 52. And, forget me. Imagine him at 52, right? He looks after himself. He doesn't abuse his body. So they could, Gunn could have continued with Henry Cavill. The reality is that Cavill fell out with this studio. And even though this is supposed to be a new leadership, the old leadership is still there, hiding away. And they didn't want Henry Cavill to be Superman anymore.